What up, guys? I want to tell you about the biggest productivity myth out there that I fell for better part of a year. And that's the myth of there being a mega tool that does everything for you, that does all of your personal knowledge management, all of your team coordination, all of your task management. That tool doesn't exist, and I don't think it'll ever exist. The beauty of the current universe of no code productivity tools is every tool has their specialized function, and it really excels at that. You have something like Obsidian, which does knowledge management well, and then you have something like Notion, which does everything, but everything about 60 to 70% good. I think the right way to look at this problem is to find the tools for your specific use cases within your life. So having one tool for PKM, one tool for task management, and having them talk to each other in an intelligent way to relieve friction that way. And that's the workflow I've created for myself with Obsidian and with Todoist. So Obsidian naturally lacks good task management, and the way we often address that is to bring in community plugins. So for the longest time, from a community plugin perspective, I've used the tasks plugin, which someone in the community has created. I'll just call it out here. So it's called Tasks by Martin Shank and Claire, 500,000 downloads, used by everybody. But there was a big disconnect for me because I installed this plugin, I had it embedded into my daily notes. It was working for me, but it didn't really talk to the productivity app that I use for the rest of my life. And that app is Todoist. So you see that on the other half of the screen here. So I'd have kind of a to-do list going for my writing, my PKM, my Twitter business in isolation in Obsidian, and then I'd have like another to-do list going for like the rest of my life, which I made that work because honestly, at the end of the day, if you have something that kind of works, just run with it. It's better to get the work done than to fiddle with your productivity system. But then I found a very simple way to just embed my Todoist into my Obsidian in a way that syncs relatively easily, that shows me the tasks in context, and then allows me to have a more 360 view of all of my tasks altogether. Relieves friction for me. Let me just show you how it works. So instead of using the Tasks app, we are going to install this other community plugin here called the Todoist Sync plugin. Only has about 10% of the downloads, but by Jamie Burns or Bryn7. Thank you so much for creating this. Recently updated, so this plugin is still getting a lot of love and a lot of use. And all it does, in essence, is it allows you to put in these code blocks into any note. 3 ticks Todoist, and then the plugin has its own syntax here that allows you to create custom queries that feed directly in from Todoist with an API key. So you can name your block. I call this one today's tasks. It's filtered just for my tasks that I want to see in Obsidian, which I have under a biz project, which is essentially writing, PKM, my Twitter business. That's all I want to see here. With to-dos of today or that are past due. And then I have some sorts here and I have the groupings. And with that, I basically get all of the tasks I want to see in Obsidian only, and I don't get this view clogged with any of the tasks from my life, from anything else. And to exemplify that a little more, if you look at my Todoist workflow here, let me move my giant head out of the way. So the way I structure my Todoist is with 5 projects. So I've got startup tasks. These are the tasks that I wake up every morning and I have to do. You can imagine it's things like take my weight, brush my teeth. Anything I need a reminder for is here. And then I've got a similar list of shutdown tasks, things that I want to do at the end of the day, like journal, brush my teeth again, etc. And I group those out by time buckets in the day, so my mind can naturally ignore those once I'm past the start of my day or before I hit the end of my day. And in the middle, I have the rest of my tasks in project based. So I have a life bucket, which is everything in my life that doesn't have a category. I have my biz stuff. That's the stuff that's around my Twitter business, around writing. And that project is relevant because it allows me to put tasks into that project and then have only those tasks show up in Obsidian. So when I'm in the context of writing, I'm not seeing everything else from my life. And then I also have a specialized task for my wedding that I have here that I can toggle on and off when I need it. And I also have a bunch of filters here that really help, but no need to go further into that today. I think I've painted a good enough picture here. So getting back to my script I want to talk to you guys about. Let me make sure we're covering everything. No tool for everything. Obsidian lacks good content management. Todoist works well. I mean, Todoist is the task app. I've been using it for 2 years. And why fix what isn't broken? We've mentioned how the plugin works. My embed, and now on to the pièce de résistance of today's lesson. How do we use this on a day-to-day basis? So you see, I've got tasks here. I've also got an idea bank. If I click on, this is basically a second query here. So I've got similar thing, another Todoist query. This one I named idea bank. And instead of filtering just for my biz project, I have it as biz and /ideas because I have an ideas section within my biz project. These are things without to-do dates. Basically just writing ideas for myself. So I also keep that in here. So if I wanted to add a new one, I just do my hotkey, like a new task, Command-Shift-X. So this opens up a natural language processing enabled Todoist page. And what I'm going to add is the title for this video. So I've thought of using this title, using Obsidian for tasks, and I'll add a caret with Todoist. So I want this to show up in my Obsidian. This is going to be part of my biz, and I want this due today. I do TOD for today, but I can do today just to make it easier for everybody. So boom, that's in there. So you can see that showing up here in my business folder. And when I go here to Obsidian, it doesn't sync right away. So you just hit the refresh and there it is. The task shows up. Simple as that. You can have, you basically can have settings in this plugin on how often you want to auto refresh. I'd say every couple of, 5 minutes is fine, unless you're like, spending more time creating tasks than you are working. I think doing a manual refresh here too also does the trick, guys. You don't need to make this fancy or complicated. And you can see that when I click here to finish this task, this communication is almost instant. So the other way around, where it goes back to your Todoist, is almost instantaneous. What else did I want to mention here? Biz project, quick task, idea bank. So the other really cool thing in Obsidian, I haven't built in a custom hotkey for this, but if I go to my command palette and I look up my Todoist task list, refresh metadata, add Todoist tasks, those are self-explanatory, but you have this cool one called add Todoist task with the current page. If I hit this, it opens up a Todoist task box within Obsidian that has a link to the markdown file I'm currently in. I want to put this in my biz project. Let's put today's date. Let's hit add. So that task has been created, and now you can see that here in my Obsidian vault. You can see that here in my Todoist today page. It's basically got the name of today's daily note. So if I close out of Obsidian for a second and I open that up, look at that. It links directly to my vault to the page. I think that's a really cool integration here. Anyway, don't want to go on and on all day. I showed you guys clearly what this plugin is. Play around with it. Let me know in the comments your use cases for this if you enjoy it. Also, subscribe if you want more of my Obsidian and Todoist rambles. Peace.